Hey professionals, today I'm going to show you how to animate AI images like this one here. Before we start diving into how to actually do this, if you actually want to download these images to follow along, you can find a link to them in the description. Now, diving into this timeline over here, we can see that this whole entire composition was created with one Fusion node. And if we look inside here, you can see the node tree layout I've got going on. Now, if this looks complicated to you in any way, don't worry, I'm going to be showing you how to put this together step by step. So the first thing we want to do when we want to create an animation like this is we want to start with a timeline. Now, it's important we get the timeline settings right first as well. So if we go inside here, the main one I want to point out is the frames per second. You can use any frames you want, but if you're following along with this tutorial, I highly recommend setting your timeline to 25 so you get the right feel between them. And if you have this timeline grayed out, it's because there's already another clip in the timeline and it won't be able to change frames once that's happened. So if that's the case, the best thing you can do is just create a new timeline. Now, I'm also going to highlight another common mistake people seem to make, which is they'll start by dragging their image in that's going to be the background and working a Fusion composition from there. Now, where this can become an issue is a lot of AI images aren't that perfect 1920 by 1080. I got lucky with this one here, but a lot of the times they actually come out like 1921 by 1064. They're not exactly HD resolution, and this can cause a lot of weird scaling issues in Resolve when you get down the track. So the best practice to avoid all of that is to start with a Fusion composition like this, and then we can go inside here. Now, to set the resolution for a Fusion composition, all we need to do is set a background node and add a merge node onto it, and then put this on here. And you'll see here, the easy way to check is you'll see 1920 by 1080, which is the resolution we need for these animations. Once we have that sorted out, we can then go inside our media pool and we're going to grab our background image and put that onto the foreground input on the merge. And then we'll add another merge node and put Bob the Builder on a foreground input as well. So I'm just going to rearrange these like this. And I don't know why I like doing it this way. I like putting all my background stuff in the bottom part here, and then all my foreground stuff goes up here. And then finally with this background, I'm going to set it to fully transparent. And then we can see here, if we go to the next one, we've got the background, and then the next one, we've got the Bob the Builder composed on top. And this is kind of what our node tree should look like to begin with. So now you can see that we've got the final composition working. Let's get into creating the base animations that's going to influence everything all together. So in this case, I want to have the background slide up and I want to have Bob come down, but also have a little bounce when he hits the floor so it gives some level of interaction and energy. To do this, let's start with the background image here. Now, the first thing we want to do is add a transform node. Once we've got the transform node in, the next thing we want to do is add a keyframe at frame 12 and then go all the way back to keyframe 0, add a new one, and then we're going to drag this guy all the way down until he's off screen, or you can just put in here negative 0.5. And then if we just give this a quick play, you can see that it's sliding in, but it's quite static. So a really quick and easy way to give this a bit more natural looking motion is just click on the transform node, go to the spline tab, and then highlight your keyframes and press S. And you'll see here that it now has this nice little ramp up and ramp down in its animation. So next step is animating Bob the Builder with a little bounce so that it gives a bit more energy and impact to the overall animation and actually makes it feel satisfying to watch. So to do that, the first thing we need to do is add another transform node, and then we're going to set some keyframes at some very specific points. So I'm going to create a default keyframe at frame 18. So this is where he's going to first impact and land on the ground. And then at frame 10, I'm going to have it where he starts the animation from coming in at the top. I'm going to set this to 5. Now, Bob here slides in smoothly, but it lacks impact, especially for the trunk he is carrying. So we have a default keyframe at 18, and then at 25, I'm going to set another keyframe and keep it at 0.5. So essentially, he's going to land here, do a little bounce, and then land back on the ground again. So going to frame 22, we want to create another keyframe, and this time set it to 0.53. So if we have a quick play of that, we'll see that it now looks a bit more like this. And it kind of works, but if we have a look at this, it doesn't feel quite right. And that's because gravity doesn't feel like it's kind of doing the right thing. So the easiest way to fix this is, again, going into the spline tab, opening up our keyframes, and then the one we have in the middle here, we're just going to hold Command Shift F or Control Shift F. And what that's going to do is give it more of a natural gravity feel, I guess you could say. So if we have a play of this again, So we can see that bounce works pretty well, but he still feels a bit static for a living and breathing creature. And one of the easiest ways to give it this breath of life, I guess you could say, is a camera shake node with these settings here. And so you can see here, he's now just got a bit more of this wiggle, and it all of a sudden makes these animations start feeling more natural, I guess you could say. But I feel like the impact from his drop isn't really enough. So here's how to add a little earthquake when he lands on the ground. And to do this, we're going to need a second camera shake node, and we're going to place it specifically after everything's been done. And we're going to apply these settings to the camera shake here. So you'll see once we've added the second camera shake in with these settings, it's not doing anything because the overall strength hasn't been applied. And you see if I slide that up, all of a sudden we do kind of have that earthquake look going on. So we want to have this time in and time out. So we want to have it when Bob specifically lands on the ground. So you can see right there at frame 18, he kind of lands. So what we want to do is at frame 17, one before, we're going to simply add a 0 on here. And then at frame 18, we're going to slide this all the way up to, say, 0.25. And then we want to have it gradually die down, this earthquake, at frame 25. So we'll just do this. And you'll see now basically what happens is as Bob hits the ground, the earthquake starts happening and it slowly dies down at frame 25. But it still feels a little unnatural, I guess you could say. And that's because we need to add some motion blur. So to do this, we want to basically toggle this motion blur on and off. So if we were to just say turn the motion blur on right now, it kind of works, but it's adding motion blur to everything else. It doesn't quite look right. So we want to basically be able to turn this motion blur on and off when we're actually wanting the earthquake feel to happen. So all we have to do is at frame 16, I'm going to hit a toggle with it off. Then at frame 18, I'm going to do a toggle on. And then again at 24, we want to have a toggle on and then have it turn off at frame 26. So now we should have something that looks like this. There you go. So you can see it's really given a bit more of a thuddy feeling impact. And finally, to really sell that Bob actually exists in this image here, let's add a drop shadow. So the first thing we need to do is make a merge node between the background and the midground image, which are these two here. So we can just go merge. And then we want to create a background and we want to change the color to our desired shadow. Now, most people usually use just the default black, but one of those things I really like doing to just make life easy is you can actually just choose a shadow from within the generated image itself, as it'll just help sell it a bit better. Then what we want to do is we want to take this node here and we want to attach it to the matte, the blue input of the background node. And you'll see here that we now have a shadow going on. So if we actually just put this on the merge node, it's now underneath it. If I was to drag it down, you can see we've got the shadow coming around here now. But the shadow is a little too sharp, so it's also good to add a blur. So with this blur, I'm then going to just set it to something around 7 or 8, I'd say. Finally, we want to use a transform after the blur. We then want to flip this vertically and drag it down into position like so. And we just want to get these feet lined up as best we can. And then finally, just to make the shadow blend in a bit better, we'll go to the merge node we have here and we'll change this to a hard light and we'll change the blend to 0.75 and voila, there you go. We now have this beautiful looking shadow that matches the movement and animation and just really makes Bob feel like he's existing in this space, I guess you could say. So now you know how to apply AI generated images to your video, but there's some really important concepts we need to understand if we're doing this work for any kind of video, as audience can react both very negatively and very positively to adding AI generated images into your video. So if that's something you want to know more about, you should definitely check out this video here where I talk about the future of our industry with AI. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you all around. Bye.